it's a 2-day process, welding these up would only be a 4-hour process, okay? Saves a lot of time, a lot of production. Now eventually these do need to be switched out because all the stuff in between will start to wear out and then they get out of balance and so forth. But sometimes even when you're balancing these, you're going to want to be able to weld some pieces to them, right? So when you get into this section, you're starting to look at balancing. So here's where that C1 comes into. That C1, this is a really hard material, but it's been tempered, so right here in between metal and hard, this base piece sometimes has a lot of carbon. You're going to need to preheat it to start with, is one way that you get in there. You preheat it, say 400 or 500 degrees, okay? And then you would use, maybe instead of a 70-18 normal electrode, you'd go to an 80-18 or a 110-18, but a C1. So that C1's got that 2.5% nickel. So that nickel's going to bond better on that surface, or you could build it up, than if you were just to use regular 70-18. Just regular 70-18 electrodes have a tendency to crack out, or you'll hear what we call the audible ping, which we're going to talk about later in a couple of sections, about having the wrong material, the wrong filler metal, and the wrong flux to be able to join these pieces together, okay? So this is really important as we start getting into the metallurgy of, is it A36, is it X52 pipe, AR400, how are we joining it, what do we need to use, and what's our preheat and our post-heat procedures as well. All right, so after this, hopefully that helped you wrap your mind a little bit around when you would want some soft material, when you would want a brittle material, and so forth. Okay. Stainless steel electrodes for SMAW, same thing. It's electrode, but in this case it's 308 or 308L. L means it's a low carbon, okay? So typically less than 0.03% carbon at this point. And when we get into the metallurgy, we talk about sensitization and why carbon matters so much, particularly in stainless steel. Around that 840 degree range, sorry, 840 to 1400 degree range, a lot of things are happening in stainless steel, particularly with carbon, that create some concerns, and we'll hit that up in section 6 as well. Okay? Excuse me. 316L, naturally we're going to weld with 316. 308 is kind of your go-to rod for a lot of stuff other than 316, okay? That's joining similar stainless steel metals and so forth. However, when we get to electrode 309, 309 is basically what we call dissimilar steel rod, okay? Or dissimilar steel or metals electrode. So when you want to join stainless to carbon, when would you do that? Chains, bumpers, anything that's got a rotating pin in there, or possibly even a corrosion resistance. You want to save money. Back to that same spider we just looked at on the rock crusher. The center might be steel to save a ton of money, build up and be able to work with it. The exterior might be stainless as well, okay? In order to join those two together,